Alright, hello everybody. Silver here. We are back, of course. Of course we're back. The monthly reset, so I can get a lot more stuff. Can get some things. I will get that. I'll save up for that. Out of this, I'll take this. Oh wait, I don't have enough yet. Either way. I'll get it eventually. This might be something to actually grab, though. So I don't have to... I'll see. I'll see what I need. We'll see in a minute. I didn't have anything I necessarily wanted to talk about specifically, so I didn't, like, start in the menu, in the loading menu this time. I did complete all of the current events. Again, the only one I haven't necessarily done is the entirety of the Norma event. I got all of the exclusive rewards and stuff, but I did all of the other events. I kind of liked the marble one. That was like that one game. There's this one game, that's like a roguelike almost. And it got popular for a bit. Or at least I believe it got popular. Within like the roguelike scene. Where you chose characters that had like different marbles. And you go through a level killing enemies, getting experience, and getting randomly like generated other marbles to level them up to like fuse them into better ones. The event was alright. It's definitely a derivative of that game. I cannot remember what the name of the game is. I used to know it, but I haven't thought about it in a bit. Cool concept. But no, it's definitely like a derivative feeling of that. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just like, of course, in this game they do that kind of stuff. They do a whole lot of like derivative style events of other games and other gameplay styles, which is fine. Cause in this, they're more like mini games and not the actual game. Just genuinely, it's much more of like a mini game style. It was fun. I can't say it wasn't. It was very easy. It was a very easy event to do, necessarily. But that doesn't make it bad at all. Just because something is easy doesn't make it bad. I feel like that's something, like, I found some people who play a video game, like, struggle with the idea that, oh, hey, if it's easy, that means the game must be, you know, for casuals. It must be a bad game. It's not made for, like, you know, us people who are hardcore gamers type of shit. Which doesn't really, like, cut it, to be honest. Like, that excuse and using that kind of, like, rhetoric a lot of times does just make the game, like, games like, let's say Dark Souls, Because Dark Souls is quote unquote a notoriously hard game. When, I mean, I myself do not find Dark Souls hard necessarily. Uh, it's it really is more of a rhythm-based game. I feel something that you have to feel out rather than you go through, you die, you reset. You know, you just go through all of it until eventually you you learn the pattern of what you're trying to fight, and then you're set after that. After you've learned the pattern, you're kind of just set. Wait, again, that's something that I feel like it's not necessarily hard. That doesn't make the game hard. There are parts where it's difficult, but it's not like so difficult that it's impossible type of shit. Uh, but difficulty doesn't necessarily make a good game. I will say that 100%. You'll find a lot of people, even in like a game like this, where they're like, oh, well, certain things shouldn't be easy. You know, you don't want new players being able to get to certain content within, like, no time. You want them to be able to have to grind through shit in order to get to content. Which I feel is like I feel that's a bit of a bad thing. A little bit. I personally hates like time gating or making your game necessarily like way harder than it needed to be for no reason. Just because you don't want people to, or like make the progression so ludicrous that it makes people not want to play it. And it like turns off a lot of different types of audiences. Because that is something you have to worry about with games, is you will get games where certain audiences will just get tuned out of it because either the game is like the progression system is fucked up in a certain way, or you know, any amount of different things. Me personally, well, fuck. I'll do this because those are all A rank Wingens. I could possibly get these just going through the game and doing spawns. I could possibly get these because they're not like limited Wingens. But no, it's. I do hate the aspect that some gamers, or like the way that some gamers talk about a game, and it's like, oh, well, we have to make sure the game is difficult and the progression takes a long time, so you're not immediately through the game, and it's like, what does it matter? There are certain games that I guess it matters a little bit more. This one makes a little bit of sense, because, you know, it's a gacha game, you're not wanting necessarily everybody to be able to get to the in-game content, but you don't wall off parts of the game. Or you make it so that's not available until you've 100% gotten to that point already that it should be doable. This game does not do that. I've talked about it before, how you can unlock DA so early. Like, way earlier than you could ever possibly conceivably do it. It's not something that's like level gated with your proxy level or whatever. And if it is, the level is way too low. It's just like It's not good. It's not a good look. Warframe is really bad with it. And a lot of people, okay, I know a lot of people who've played Warframe. I used to play Warframe. Warframe players are addicted to the idea that, oh, hey, this progression system is okay. And it's not really. It's really not. Because there are parts of the game, like, especially with early game, a new player coming in, it's kind of hard for a new player to just, like, sit there and be like, okay, I'm gonna go play this game, I'm gonna go have some fun, you know, and then they realize, oh, well, now I have to farm something that I might not want or might not be able to use properly, and then also have to wait after I've spent so long farming these items to be able to craft something. Now I have to wait in-game days, not even in-game days, IRL days to craft them. Right? It takes like 3 whole days to craft a Warframe in that game. 3 whole IRL days. Like, what is that? 76 hours? 72 hours? Somewhere around there, whatever 3 days is in hours. It's 72. But, yeah, 72 hours is what you have to wait to craft a new Warframe. It's 24 hours for a weapon, to be fair. But then you also don't have unlimited slots for those. You have to buy slots with the in-game currency, the premium currency. So you can't just, like, collect it. So the only point for a lot of players to get new gear, weapons, and Warframes is either to test them out or to raise their mastery rank, and that's it. They're gonna get it, max it out, and then sell the item. So they get some credits back. Just because there's no... You don't really get anything for keeping it. You don't have, you know... The only thing you could get from keeping them is later on you can unlock something called the Helmet, where you throw in, like, a Warframe, and then you can steal an ability from it, and then give it to a new one. You could do that. You can. That's a thing. But, again, it's not something that's like, you know, it's not great. The system that they go about it, maybe in the early days, that was fine. Maybe in the early days, it was something that was completely, like, normal and acceptable. And it would have been fine, because there wasn't quite as much content as there is now. Where a time gating might have been something you needed to not have people be waiting for new shit to come out. Not be just stuck there. But now it's to the point where we don't need that, but players of Warframe specifically will say, oh, but, like, it's super easy to get plat, you know? It's super easy to get plat to be able to, like, rush builds. No, really not. Like, you're assuming somebody's gonna go into fucking trade chat, a player who might not have ever done this before, go into trade chat and know the prices of an item to be able to put it up on trade chat to sell it for platinum, and then expect, you know, them not to get fucked over if they're just like, oh, I have this item, how much how much would you trade for this? That kind of shit. Like, genuinely, it's not something that's
Huh? Do you have a secret you want to share?
necessarily a very friendly ecosystem, I would say. It's not really very friendly toward, like, your time being valuable. I would, I would genuinely say that your time to them, not that valuable. I'm just gonna do that. No reason really not to. It's just like it's very it's honestly a bit ridiculous uh, for people to expect that out of players and say, "Oh yeah, no, this time gating is perfectly fine." Because there's so many things that are time gated. Not just that. There's so much bullshit that is time gated, and a lot of the shit you also have to farm for. You can't just like buy it unless you have platinum to buy it from the market necessarily. You gotta farm items. You've gotta farm blueprints in order to craft an item. Then you have to wait to craft that item. Uh, IRL time. Some other time gated systems, like the system in I'm trying to think of it. It's almost like the faction system, or almost like a faction system, where you can only get so many faction rep points per day. Uh, I believe it's per day. It might not be per day. It might be per week. I can't remember what the actual timing is. But it's really just like such a grind that it's not necessarily fun. I used to find Warframe very fun because I had a reason to like go up in mastery rank. Because at one point, especially when you're early in the game, you have to get to certain mastery ranks to be able to craft certain weapons in certain Warframe. But that ends about when you get to rank 17, I think. I think mastery rank 17 or something is one of the highest that you need to be able to craft literally any item in the game. And then it is just farming those items. And it's like, okay, so now what? Now what am I going to do? Like, once I'm to mastery rank 17, that number means nothing. That your mastery rank is just a fucking how long have I played the game? How sweaty am I in it? Type of thing. That's all that says. Genuinely. I wish I was, like, fucking around or, like, lying. That's a genuine thing. Like, that's what it is. And again, I hate that because Warframe at one point was really fun, but now the progression itself feels, it just feels like there's no real actual progression necessarily. Like, oh hey, you can do this to get these items or these warframes, new thing, but like there's no real reward other than that. Other than being like, oh hey, I've unlocked a new thing to grind for, yay! Am I gonna use it? Probably not, because it might not even be that good. I've got to test it to see if it's better than anything that I already have, and if it's not, I'm just gonna sell it or throw it away. My god, why is it laggy like that?
Starlight, shine bright! Your turn!
My game is really laggy for no reason. I don't actually understand it.
Combined strike!
Why is it so laggy? I don't have anything open. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna end after this, but... Jesus Christ. There was a version update recently, apparently. I had a version correction, is what it said. But I don't see anything different, anything changed. Maybe it was preparing for Norma? I don't know. Jesus.
Night charge!
I actually don't know what's going on. Why is my game running at, like, fucking a slideshow pace? It's actually just a slideshow. But no, either way, there's a lot of progression that I don't feel is really useful in games. Like, you could, especially if you're going to do a live service, it's fine to have that progression, like, be slow at first. Let's say, like, oh, this game just came out, we don't want people to blow through it too fast, so we're going to limit the progression to, like, a certain type of time gating or something like that,
So what do I
having an energy bar, that kind of thing. But then later on, you don't need that, really. Your game is big enough and expansive enough after a certain point, especially if you keep the live service part of it up for a while, that you don't need to do that anymore. But either way, I think I've talked about it way in the past about my hatred of time gating. Time gating wasn't the only reason I disliked Warframe. I kind of got burnt out on it for a good bit because I was a games journalist at one point for Warframe. Although I use that term loosely. Because games journalist to who I was working for meant, hey, make a top 10 list. You can't talk bad about anything, by the way. It has to be a top 10 list. You can't say anything negative. And it has to be objective. And it's like, that doesn't work with Warframe. Nothing is objective because there's, like, mods that are just fully random that could make or break a gun. You know, that kind of shit. But either way. If you enjoy my videos, I have 2 ways you could support me down below. Don't mind how many frames I have. I don't understand why that's happening. That's not normal, and if you've seen my videos, you know that's not normal. But, either way, I have 2 ways down below that you can support me other than just by watching the videos. The first way is my Honeygain referral code link. I'm not sponsored by them, but I have used the service for several years now. I'm not going to keep explaining it every video as to what Honeygain is, but it's a service you don't need money for, that when you use it, it helps support me by just you using it. You're not giving me any money necessarily, but the company that is Honeygain gives me money by you using it. And as for the other one, that's my Ko-fi link. That one is a donation page only. I did recently make a post on there about getting back into writing, because I am trying to get back into writing again. I know I've said that in the past, but now I'm trying to get back into rewriting a novel that I had been working on that I just, like, let slip by. And it describes a little bit. It's just a post saying, hey, I reworked my novel. You can find my, like, writing portfolio link on my Ko-fi page. It's also on my Twitter. I don't promote my Twitter, but I do have a Twitter. My Twitter does link to my YouTube and my writing website, both. The writing website is a work in progress. I've been steadily trying to fix it up. It's very bare bones right now, very shitty. It's barely got anything on it. And there is some stuff that's in NSFW, so don't click on it, don't go to it with the expectation that every story on there is going to be SFW. Because honestly, it's not. I used to do commissions that were in SFW, so don't expect some of the stories not to be. Mostly in the commissions tab is going to be stuff that's in SFW. Anything outside of the commissions tab is typically SFW. So when you go to the NSFW, or when you go to the commissions tab, that's where you'll find like NSFW works, and I believe I have them marked as NSFW. However, I can't attest to that. I haven't looked recently. When I go to, I will make sure to have them marked as NSFW when I go to do that. When I go to edit those pages to make them fit more with the theming that I'm going for with it. But either way, I've yapped long enough. Genuinely, if you've watched this far into the video, you've made it this far, made it to the very end, I want to say to you, yes, you specifically, thank you. Genuinely. I don't know what it is, but you've watched this far. You've dealt with my random bullshit rambling. You've dealt with the low frame count on the game. I don't know how you did it. There's something about you that's special. And it's because you're you. And I want you to know that. And for everybody else, thank you so much for watching. And I'll catch you all in the next one.